drinking some between us. It was funny. I couldn't find the cats for anything. I was looking around for them, and then one show. As soon as I go live, one shows up. So, yeah, Fritzy's here. I can't pick her up. She'll kill me. She'll just bite out my feet. She just did. Okay. All right. So I made the thumbnail on this black due to where we're heading into. Not to gloom and doom anything, but it's not great. Yeah, something energy. Actually, energy shifted before I went live here. I guess they're checking my energy. I feel like the grays were checking in, which I don't normally get a vibe like that. It's not a bad thing. Just weirdness has to give you a call. See what I'm up to, I guess. The U.S. So the U.S. timeline. So obviously, I have to choose my words carefully, but I think I'll be okay. Yeah, with Trump going to, I would say, to jail. I don't think he's going to go to jail. I know they want to put him in jail and leave him in there. That's the vibe I get from all this. It's not obviously it's because of 2024, but they just want to throw him in. They just want to throw away the key. I don't know if they'll be successful in that. It's a whole other story. Probably not, but yeah, it's not looking good for the U.S. That's for sure. And would not normally put this type of title into this, but it's kind of a big deal. So the Federal Reserve is losing money, and you would not hear that anywhere. I guess, or from what I've heard, like $100 million a year. Maybe it's more than that. But you would never know that. And they've never done that before. And you can do, like I say, you do a search on this online. You have to be specific what you're looking for, because you won't find it. You put Federal Reserve, you won't find this. I don't think so. So, like I said, I'm not glooming and dooming anything, but it's kind of a big deal. Seeing where the U.S. is it's descending. It's becoming the future for the kids is going to be kind of interesting where this is going to go. Yeah, so many are changing their genders and all of that, wasting their time with that, as the U.S. itself falls apart. So it's reality bites. But hopefully those that are in the spiritual community that are locked into delusional thinking, maybe they'll come back home and start realizing reality. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just wander off and find some other delusion they can jump from one delusional belief system to another. Religion's been doing it forever. And the spiritual community has been doing that for a while. So I kind of get overly obsessed with the aliens and all of that and staying lost. And then it opens up so you can reincarnate again. So, okay, you got that. You get that life right, so you come back again. So just to let you know how that works. Not always. But many are coming back for sure, from what it looks like. And also a new era we're going into, at least in the U.S. And also the connection with the universe. The universe is affected by this too. I had to add something. Something galactic or something spiritual or something. I had to do something. So interesting. I'm not going to name names, but yeah, a psychic just crossed over recently, and I feel like it was part of this reality, me manipulating it and all that. So and really, that's why I'm not mentioning the name, because I don't really care much for the person. But I'm kind of glad it's gone, actually. He was just manipulating people, feeding off of their energy and all that. I'm not going to say anything. So many people love that. Yeah, they fall in love with these people. I'm not going to put myself in that position. I have enough problems as it is. It's part of the matrix, I believe. So, Yeah, feeding it. Yeah, big fan of the queen and all that. That's not the good vibe. If you're worshiping the queen and all that, that's just part of the system, basically. I know, just recycle again. There's a lot of beings that are here that'll just keep recycling here over and over again. You see that with the music industry. Like you see like Jay-Z and some of these guys that are doing these symbols and all that. I mean, for some of them, this is their world. So being pulled, manipulated by the music industry and all that is what they do, and they just keep coming back. So I guess people will realize that eventually. Maybe, maybe once the delusion gets cleared out, which is pretty thick out there right now. Yeah, I don't think I've never seen delusion at its highest level at this point. I've seen it before, but it's like tripled itself or quadrupled itself. That's in the spiritual community. So that's interesting. That shows a lot of credibility there. So, but yeah, what's going on with the U.S. and all that? Yes, that's what the spiritual community. I guess I'm gonna blame the SSP on it or something with the U.S. Slowly going down, but reality is coming. It's coming in. So it's happened in some kind of timeline. Doesn't mean I'd say this will be gloom and doom or anything like that. But hopefully, for those that are extremely delusional, it starts to snap out of their psychosis. So that's a good thing. Some might, or just go down with the ship and not want to change. So more power to you on that one. That's the root of another reincarnation, because you didn't learn what you needed to learn here. Well, you need if this world is going to keep selling its delusional thinking, and you buy into it as part of the matrix, part of all this, and you just keep coming back over and over again. So keep falling for the same thing until you figure it out, until you can break free. It just give you kind of idea how that works. But believe whatever you want. Summertime.com. We have private sessions, have a schedule. We have the shop here. Oops. Somewhere. Webinar, social network, behind the scenes, and the archive. And then I have to. Okay. So you have Federal Reserve losing money. So you have very little coverage on this. So you have the Wall Street Journal. That's kind of a big deal. And, they didn't have this before. Usually you can read the whole article. Interesting. They just put this here. This wasn't here earlier. They just locked it down. Lovely. Marketplace is a real, so it's losing about $2 billion a week. That's nice. And this is legit. The way this is designed is a look legit, but this is a legit site. So the title says it all. But you're not getting much publicity of this. It's just not talked about too much. And if you do Federal Reserve, there's nothing about it losing money. Just emergency funds. There's nothing. There might be something here. Nope. Yeah, it's buried. It's probably not in it. So yeah, it just gives you kind of an idea how that works. Isn't that nice? Like I said, normally I wouldn't go into something like that, but it's not getting any attention. Not to say it's going to be gloom and doom or anything like that. But this is not looking good for a country that's supposed to have a future. It's like no future. That's not. So doesn't mean you have to have your travel plans to find another country to live in. You wing it. That's all we can do. But hopefully the spiritual community starts to realize all of this. It's like, okay, high vibration country going under. You know, time to bring in that high vibration and hold on to your hats. Yeah, it's hard to say where this is all going. It's not going to happen anytime soon, like a crash or anything like that, but it's not looking great. Yeah, I just have to business as usual. What else are you going to do? So U.S. energy would tap into the U.S.'s frequency. As for the future, yeah, we have to obviously be careful what comes through. Due to this platform and this manipulation, it's like it still has a lot of growing up to do. Censorship and all that. So, also go into some of the Federal Reserve energy, or tap into some of the elite energies. Tap into basically human consciousness that's connected to this. But you need a wake up call. I think you found one, or you're going to find one. Yeah, just if the country does crash, doesn't mean it'll affect everyone. I mean, it will affect everyone to a certain level, but some are going to really feel it. And those that really feel it, it's probably because they're not listening. So just to put that out there. Kind of looking the other way. They hear about this and then whatever, it'll be fine. And all of a sudden, reality hits. So it's really hard to say. Be surprised. It's kind of like a ship going under. The ship started to sink, and somehow you'll find a lifeboat, and others won't. So we'll just have to wait and see where this is going to go. Doesn't mean the country's going to go belly up. But it ain't looking good, though. Yeah, when the Federal Reserve is losing $100 million a year, or more, according to that was like a $2 billion. Jeez. Look at that again. So it's losing $2 billion here, and I'm not looking at that. Yeah. Maybe there is another country out there, Switzerland or somewhere. Yeah. So, okay. All right. We're going to the U.S. What's going on right now, and going to the Fed, like the elite energy, basically where humanity is at this point. Not everybody's lost, but there is a lot of that out there. And then to the universe, because the universe, we feel the effects of it. Interesting, though. Like what do they call it? Spiritual frauds that are here to vampire the energy of other people and manipulate. Some of them might start dropping like flies, which is interesting. We'll have to wait and see how that works exactly. I guess the weaker ones fall apart, I guess. Because there is, psychic energies, some psychics out there that are manipulating reality, getting people to love them and all that, but they're actually messing with our reality. So, eventually people will figure it out. So, all right, here we go. Blessings. Greetings. This is the consciousness of the United States. Yes, the U.S. is sick at this moment. It's ill. And the people are not fully understanding the illness. Just like any other person that's sick, some are in denial, others want it to happen. So there's an inner fight that's going on. But yes, there's a wound within the U.S. where a lot is breaking down. Like the system you're living in now won't exist probably 10 years from now. Well, it won't be as strong. Let's put it that way. It doesn't mean it'll be the end of the world. No. It just would be diluted quite a bit. Lifestyles, luxury lifestyles. Things will get more simplified. Nothing wrong with that. Some might have a cardiac arrest over it. They can't handle it. There will be some luxury, but less luxuries. And do you actually need that to begin with? It happens to civilizations all through the world. There will still be technology advancements. You can feel like you're living in a dystopian world. Of course, technically you are right now, and that'll become more apparent as the U.S. starts having a wake-up call. So those that are looting the U.S. are getting their way, and it's becoming more. Of course, many humans, or many that feel that many are, people, regular people, common people are acting like victims. Those are conspiracy theorists, and not all, but quite a few of them are. They might be angry, but there's also a lot of victim mentality there. And once you heal that, yes, the country gets stronger. But many, some are, yes, they're blaming somebody, the blame game. And there is a truth of this darkness, but also a lot of souls are not ready to see what's really here. So the darkness prevails, but yes, you can heal the future though. You can bypass, negative timelines, which you're doing now, working toward. That's why many of you are here. Yes, some of you might feel more exhausted than usual due to what's going on, but the U.S. is showing more of its true colors as it yes, flattens out. It starts to, and some are, yes, living in delusional thinking is on different levels, not just spiritual. It's on different levels of just many just want to ignore what's happening here. But it might be good to see some idea of where your country is going. It's like you're sitting in a car with someone and they're driving you towards a cliff. Maybe you want to pay a little bit more attention. That's where others are looking away. They don't want to get to that energy. But, the world's going to say, by the way, this is happening. If you want to keep ignoring it, it's up to you. So some can't handle it. Some are, yes, living in another parallel reality. But this world will find a way to pull you into this reality if you absolutely need to be here. So you're here for a reason, not just in this incarnation, just for many incarnate and then wish they were somewhere else. But this one has a wake-up call. So as for the Trump, that's not going well. There's just a lot of there's a corruption on both sides. There's corruption on all sides. It's just usually it's looked away. And you're kind of seeing blackmail and all that work. You're seeing that. There is that. It's, you notice how some get away and others don't. So they want to corrupt politicians or anyone for that amount just so they can do things like this. So think like if you're wealthy and you have all the power in the world, are you going to stay clean? Some do, most don't. And then look what's happening, on your Tuesday. So the system is there to corrupt in some form, and you see what politicians go through all the time. That's why some of them sell out so easily, because they don't want this stuff getting out. And there's a lot of that happening right now. So just seeing, some of what's happening here that's being brought into the light, but there's obviously a lot more. Now, for those that don't go in, like those that are committing these crimes are not, politicians. We'll just use that for example. There's also obviously billionaires that are breaking the law all the time and they walk away. They are protected, but they have to. It's really on who you know. Like you step on the wrong foot, yes, you go away, or as your empire falls. Look at it that way. Bill Gates kind of went through some of that. Well, you saw recent scandals, some of that, and then all of a sudden quiet. Give you some idea of that without going into details. What's this? Greetings, we are consciousness of your Federal Reserve. Yes, of course, it's not the best energy. Of course not. Greed, power, and soullessness. But it's also for your people to start, awakening if they want to, if they have the capacity to do so. Some of you that are paying a little bit more attention, you're receiving this broadcast for a reason, to up your energy, to shift the timelines the best of your ability, or just brace yourself for a change. It does not mean the U.S. is going, no, it's not going, no, but it's not doing well. It's a sick patient. and it's not going to get any better. And those that are in charge are throwing water on a fire that's not going out. So some of this might leak out into the future. They're going to cover a lot of this up for now. But yes, there's a possible time where all the looting of the U.S. starts to become more known. By then, it'll be too late. It won't happen anytime soon, but there's a timeline for that. Not that it will happen. For some of you on a spiritual level will, yes, advance yourselves a little bit more. Some don't want to have any time for this. They're just locked into their own reality that they created for themselves, and they're not about to look anywhere else. Yes, you become a prisoner of your own reality that you created. You might create, yes, all these different realities wherever it is, and truly make it a real in your mind. And some have different. It's like being a drug addict. You can't get out. There might be others that help you out. Yes, might look down on your family members because they're not thinking fourth dimensionally, fifth dimensionally. And yeah, that's not exactly the most healthiest energy. Yes, you're incarnate. To have a fourth dimension, fifth dimensional soul or higher, come here and truly just glimpse at this physical realm as instead of insulting it, seeing for what it is, learning what you need to learn here, that's maturity. Some don't want that. They just come here. It's like, yes, this is the worst place ever. I need to get out of here. Now, if you're going through hardships, that's different. Of just, we understand challenge after challenge is one thing, but others just detest the physical realm. And yes, they have their own wake up call. But there's different ways of wording it, but there's really probably not the right words for it. But some that are from the higher dimensions truly have a problem here. And not that you have to like the world, but at least know why you're here. I mean, you can activate that. You might not always know the details of it. Some might have some ideas like, just embrace this reality, make it the best you can. And some aren't doing that. They're just totally rejecting it. And that's how they get pulled into all these fantasy ideas, belief systems. It's like you create a balloon in your mind and just grab that balloon and fly off. And if that balloon pops, another one will emerge. Until you just come back to reality. Yeah, the school is here. And there's certain fragments of this reality that need to be understood. It's hard. Words are not easy to describe what some are here to figure out. As for the Fed and all this, yes, receiver power leads. You don't have to focus on them. They're not worth focusing on. Yes, focusing on yourself, your own abilities, and yes, weathering the storm, you can say. Greetings to you, the universe, consciousness. Some of you might agree this world is definitely necessary, especially for souls, not everybody, but souls that are very difficult to handle, to lock down, to rehab, you can say. Some get stuck in their ways. Yes, you can be in the universe at a higher vibration and be, yes, a criminal for a very long time. But then they incarnate here, get imprisoned here, and yes, they lose their power. They're not as strong as they used to be and get recycled here as long as they need to. And so let's put it this way, so they leave everybody alone. They become nicer. Look at it that way. Now, not all of you are here. Some of you have dealt with these beings or making peace with these beings and caused difficulties. Some are just there's different reasons why everyone is here. but there are a lot of criminal elements here, as you can see. Some of them see this world as they're the kings here to a certain level, but not entirely. So just in your elite powers, where your elite beings, you look at how like they're the ones that design the chessboard, the chess pieces, and you come play the game basically. And if you need to see them, that's fine. Yes, but it's really is some of this is to clear out the ones that cause so much difficulty in the universe, and to yes, let them have their fun, of course, but it just the universe has a lot of darkness in it. It has trouble recite clearing. There are peaceful universes. This is not one of them. It's like it's and beings from other universes come here and cause difficulties. Some of you remember your galactic lifetimes to a certain level, and you've dealt with alien beings that are just impossible to deal with. A lot of them are here. They're not winning either. Some of them are. Most are not. They're not always in your prison system. Some of them work at your fast food restaurants and things like that. Not all, but some of them do. They literally got stripped of their powers, their memories. They don't remember who they are. And hopefully they become good beings. This really is to bring some good out of a lot of this. But of course, on a universal level, we're just not seeing it. This is a prison planet. Not well, some might see it that way, but it's a world that's necessary for a universe like this. So if you see how chaotic this world is, imagine how the higher dimensions are. Yes, they have a lot of problems. So setting in many beings that cause difficulties, it's hard to get them to reincarnate here. You have to find a way to plug them into this planet because it does help them lose their power, lose their steam, where they're not as strong as they used to be. But there is a lot of magician beings that are keeping this reality going. What you call your physical reality. And that's what you're here to connect with eventually. Let's see.